today's the first Tuesday of the month. Today's the first Tuesday of the month, and we're here to show you a couple of things percussion wise. Um, I play congas here. I have some timbales and some other percussion stuff that I show and I teach. Um, I was just wondering if everybody's hearing me cool because my earpiece keeps going on and off.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
good.
yeah, okay, good. Um, so, so anyway, for all you guys, all you people, guys or girls who play congas or percussion or anything like that, I want to show you a couple of basic patterns first of all, and then we're going to go into some other rhythms and some other patterns that I use in more or less like in a pop setting. Pop setting meaning that we play not only Latin music, but you could play American music, country music, rock and roll, hip hop, um, top 40, music, American style music. And when you do that, the percussion is, it's not like in a Latin setting where you have a conga player, a timpa player, and a bongo player. Now you're going to have to work that all yourself. So you're the percussionist in these groups. I had a lot of experience with playing with jazz, straight ahead jazz bands, uh, with some with some rock bands, flamenco, Latin soul. So this is the other styles that we use and that we play with these instruments. And also a big part of that, years for years, I played with wedding bands. And when you play with wedding bands, they have 3 or 4 or 5 gigs a week, and your job is to play all of the colors percussion, not only congas, like I said, timbales, bongos. We have shakers, we have tambourines and stuff like that. Um, so, like some basic patterns that I use that'll cover a lot of bases, which I taught before. I'm going to go back to the basic tumbao, and then I'm going to elaborate more on that because that's basic, our basic pattern that we're going to use in order for us to go further into the other stuff that I'm going to show you today. Okay, so if we're going to refresh our memories, I don't know if anybody has a conga in their lap, or you could use a table, or bang on your lap. you know. So, like I said, these are the conga drums. Okay, I have 4 here. They're all tuned different notes. So we tune these drums with this mechanism here, with these hooks. And what we have at the end of these hooks here is a nut, which we, with a wrench, with a half-inch wrench, we tighten the rim, and it pulls down the skin. And what's happening is that the note goes higher as it gets tighter, as it gets pulled. So this is how we're able to get all these different notes. Okay, now we're gonna go to one drum, the lead drum here, and the pattern that I taught before. I just want to refresh your memory, or whoever's here knew that that we play here is called the tumbao. Okay, the tumbao. I'm gonna just run over it quick, and then we're gonna do some other stuff with that tumbao now. Okay, I just want to brush that up for the people who didn't hear, who weren't here, learning that pattern. Okay, now the tumbao. First of all, we have to get the sound out of this one drum again, okay? So we have 4 basic sounds. There's a little bit more by playing a lot of other tricks and stuff like that, a lot of effects. But the 4 basic sounds is what you have. Your first sound is your open tone, which is the sound of the drum itself. So you would hit the drum with this part of your hand where your fingers are at, and you're doing this motion here. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna let the skin vibrate. Okay, so it's not striking it too hard. You're using the weight of your hands, okay? The second sound that we can get out of this drum is your slap, which is like a whip action. When the rim is here, what you're gonna do is your fingertips are gonna hit the middle of the drum, not your fingers are not gonna touch, just your fingertips. And you're gonna get like that whip, like that whiplash action. So what you're doing is like if you hit the rim with your hand, your fingertips are gonna go flying into the middle. But we're not gonna do that. But that's the reaction that you have to do in order to get this sound. You always practice with the right and left hand. Now we have the tone and the slap. Okay, so I don't know if you have a drum there, but these are some of the basic notes that you have to hit on the conga drum. Okay, now with the palm of your hand, you aim for the middle of the drum, and you're gonna get this thump, this bass note. And it's not a hit. It's not a hit like that. It's more of a thump. You got to find a little sweet spot. So I'm hitting that with this part of my hand here, this part here. Now what we have is the bass, the open tone, and the slap. So far we got those three. Now, check this out, the sound with just the bass and the open tone. Sounds pretty. Cocky. Now, with that, with just those two hits, two bass and two open tone, right? Right, left, right, left. If you put them together, now they're starting to sound like something here. So that's only with those two notes. You see how much we can do with only those three sounds. The last sound is a muffled tone, which is like the open tone. But what you're gonna do, you're gonna choke it. You're not gonna let the skin vibrate. When you hit the open tone, it vibrates. The sound shoots out. Now with the same four fingers, what you're doing is you're putting pressure on the tips, and you're holding the skin from vibrating. This drum here is tuned a little lower, and you're going to hear more of the muffled tone. So it's like a choke. Hit. So therefore, it's not a hit. It's not, you don't strike it like you would do a slap. What you're doing is just not allowing the skin to vibrate. You're just holding it down like a muff. Now, this is the open tone. These are two open tones and two muffs. Now we have the complete four tones. Open, slap, bass, and then we have the muff tone. just hit 2 tones and 2 slaps, just like we did with the bass and tone. Now we're going to do 2. And you get that rhythm out of that. You get that, and we use this for some solo parts. And all it is just an open tone and a slap. Reverse with the bass and tone. Now, I play multiple drums. You might have some beginners here or some people who already are starting to play. And the reason why all these notes, so I can get melodies. So therefore, with these 2 drums, I'm going to substitute now. Let's do the open tone and the slap. Remember? Now let's substitute for these here. Instead of, so are we doing, we're still going to keep the slaps here. So it's all substitutions, what we have here. Okay, so with those 4 notes, we're going to get into playing the basic tumbao. I know we went over this before, so in order for me to go on to these other things that we're going to do, we're going to need this pattern so you can understand where it's coming from. This is the basis of all this popular music that we play. This tumbao is like 90% of the rhythm that we play on the songs that are in 4/4 pattern or common time. So let's go over the tumbao, which is I'm going to play first. These are basically 8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so it's a 1-bar phrase. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So let's just go over learning the tumbao basically. Okay, for all you people who are right-handed, you pick up your left hand, and we're going to go over the pattern. The right hand is a dominant hand, okay? So you're gonna pick then the opposite of your dominant. If you're left-handed, your right-handed is the one that's gonna do the masacote. It's gonna do the time here, okay? So I'm a right-handed player, okay? So don't look at me as a mirror, but sitting where I'm sitting at, because I had a student learning what I was doing on this side. He was repeating it with his right hand. My left hand, he was doing it in the right hand. When I got to see him, he was doing everything here like in the mirror, backwards. So just so you can know that, that's not the way to visualize the setup that we have here today, okay? So my dominant hand, I'm a right-handed player. So my left hand, I'm gonna call this here the heel or the palm, and the toe or the tip. So let's do heel toe. Heel and toe, okay? Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, okay? Heel, toe. So you drop your heel, pick up your toe, and just bring right back. Heel, toe, okay? So let's just go over the pattern quickly so we can move on. Heel, toe. If you're left-handed, your right hand is going heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Okay, which you drop it down, and all you gotta do is pick up your wrist. It's not this thing. It's not this kind of movement. It's heel, toe. Down, pick up your tips. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Now we're gonna add the slap with the right hand or with your dominant hand. Heel, toe, slap. Heel, toe, slap. Heel, toe, slap. Okay? Heel, toe, slap. That's the slap with the right hand, okay? Or your dominant hand. Heel, toe, slap. Let's go further. Heel, toe, toe, slap, toe. Heel, toe, slap, toe. Heel, toe, slap, toe. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel. Okay? This is a memory thing. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel. So you're doing like a seesaw with this here. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel. So you do with your toe, you kind of pick up your wrist here and bend down your heel. So I'm doing this. I'm sweeping it. I'm sweeping this back and forth, okay? Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, okay? We're moving on. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. Okay? Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. It's a lot of work for your opposite hand that you're dominant from. Okay, so that's the timekeeper. What we're doing is syncopating with the right hand, the accents, but all the time that's being kept marking tempo and keeping you in line with the beat is your opposite hand from the dominant. Okay, so this is heel, toe, slap, toe, heel. Heel, just drop your hand, heel, and pick up your toes. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. Now we're going to finish it off. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe, open. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. So once you do these two open tones, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? So once you finish 4 and 1, then comes the 1 again. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. Open, open, heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. E, heel, toe, toe, heel, toe. That's what your hand is doing without the syncopation of your dominant hand. Heel, toe, toe, heel, toe. If you're left-handed, your right hand is going heel, toe, toe, heel, toe. Heel, toe, toe, heel, toe. Heel, toe, toe, heel, toe. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. Oh, heel, toe, slap. So my right hand, see my dominant hand, all it's doing is this. All the work is doing this hand. One and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's the basic tumbao. I'm not going to go any further because this is we're going to go into some other stuff for the people who are not conga players, or who are, they should at least know this part, the basic pattern, the tumbao. Now let's do this. Let's do that whole pattern with one hand, the whole tumbao. Okay. So what's going to happen is that you're doing all those eighth notes with one hand. Either your right or your left hand, it doesn't matter, okay? Because we have to have both of the hands learning that pattern. It's a good exercise, first of all, and it's a simple exercise, but this is the tumbao, the one-handed tumbao that we use to have to free up another hand to play another instrument, like a shaker or a tambourine, a timbal, a cowbell, or guido, or what have you. So what the basic tumbao, remember, let's go over that again. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now let's do it with one hand. So what's happening here, I'm gonna do it with my not dominant hand, my other hand, my left hand, and for the left-handed people, your right hand. So we're gonna be doing heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. I'll do the whole tumbao. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. That's a tumbao right there with one hand. heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe, open, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. Now, if you have two congas, or even on one conga, I practice this the same time. So it sounds like two people doing a tumbao, which is a good exercise because whatever I do with my right hand, I do with my left all the time to try to build up the same stamina, the same attack. So I try to do everything with the left hand that I do with the right hand. So here goes a tumbao. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have one conga, you could do the same thing. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. Okay, so you could do this with one hand, your right hand. Okay, so it's the same thing, heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe, open, open. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and same thing. Now you're breaking it up. I'm going to switch back and forth from two hands to one hand. Calling you a pulpo, an octopus. Now, the reason why we do that, to free up this hand. So maybe, like I said, the multi-percussionist will have timbal, bongo. Right now, I just got a pair of timbales here for now to show you a little bit of the independence that we use for this hand. This is a pair of timbales that I have here. Okay. So sometimes I would like to play a cowbell with the one-handed tumbao, and you could start like this. So these are some of the. This is only a little scratch of what we do when we change the independence. That's why you have to learn it with your right and your left hand, because sometimes you might have a bell here or a tambourine that you want to hit. If you have a tambourine or to have that effect, or some bongos or whatever accents you want to hit. But this is now you're gonna see it's gonna sound fuller now. Now you have your timbales in your arsenal. Usually you have two congas timbales, maybe a bongo, and a stand with some percussion stuff, some shakers, triangles. Maybe for next month I'll bring up a little bit more of that stuff so you can see more of the job of the percussionist, not only for salsa music, for Latin music, but you got to think of this as music in general, global music, any kind of music we can fit in playing these drums, because this is only a different color of what you're hearing from the other bands, the other percussionists from around the world in different countries. So you're adding your part over here. When I started to do the cha-cha here, I did abanico with one hand. Usually an abanico, which is called a fan, is like a 5-stroke roll or a 7-stroke roll. I'm using my famous Victor Rendon sticks, which are very good for timbales. It's got a heavy weight and it's nice and slender, like him. Now, what's happening here is when a timbalero will do a roll, abanico, is to bring in the band, to bring in a certain element, to bring in a certain rhythm. It's usually either a 7-stroke or you have a 5-stroke, 9. So I'm trying to emulate that roll. I might not get 7 strokes, but I'm doing it with one hand, just like we did here. So that's where I get that. So see, you might not get the 7 notes, or you might. So you're letting the stick bounce rough. So you hear now, it sounds full. It sounds like two people playing timbale and bongo, timbale conga rather. and you hear a fullness now. So this is another aspect, not only of you playing conga drums, or maybe not only playing timbales. So this is how you got to combine this, and what's going to happen here is that you got to see it's another avenue for you to make an income with other styles of music, not only salsa, but when you play all these multiple rhythms, and so they want a guy who can do a little bit of everything and can understand a little bit of different types of music, in order to fill in. You don't have to play fast, hard, less is more. You just got to play the colors of each individual song, what it entails. You might just need a shaker throughout one whole song. It's so delicate. Some tumbaos I had to play with my finger. That's all they wanted. I mean, so you have to be open enough to just experiment with the possibilities of your instrument. I also have a foot pedal here. Sometimes it's like a cowbell I have on my foot here, and I got a bell to it. So this is what I have here. It's a cowbell with a foot pedal. I don't hit my thumb. And it sounds like a regular campana that a bongo player would have. And he would use so this is what we're trying to do. It doesn't have to be the full pattern, which most of the time we do play the full pattern, but sometimes some beats escape us because we have to compensate with the other instruments that we're playing. But at least you get the essence of that rhythm. So therefore, I only have these little toys here now. Next time I'll see if I bring some other stuff so I can see the combinations that we do playing that. But this is why this is helpful if you learn the tumbao with one hand. Learn it with the two hands first, so you know where you're at. Heel, toe, sat, toe, heel, toe, open, heel, toe, sat, toe, heel, toe. And it's only 8 notes, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So that frees up your hand. We go shaker, or tambourine. So a boogaloo type of feel, funky thing, and usually you don't play this throughout the whole song. There's certain sections, certain interludes of the song where you're going to hear the guy just go only to the timbales, and he'll do a ride. He'll come back to the congas, and then he'll come back playing with the chimes and the shakers and the effects, depending on what the arrangement calls for. So, so you have all that information that you have to put together. You're not going to throw it and just throw everything in the pot. You got to know when to do it. When does it call for? When is it called for? When all of a sudden you just got this little space and all you need is one little triangle hit. So, you're orchestrating a percussively. put it that way. You're orchestrating percussively. You're painting around the song, and without overplaying. Only the colors that you need, and depending on the intensity that they want, you can blow you can blow harder, or less. Less is more for me because that brings out the beauty of the song because everybody's putting their ingredients in there. So you don't want to step it out and overpower anybody because these are some loud instruments, unless everybody else is playing loud, or kind of intensely, not loud but intense, you know. They do the cascara also. It's different combinations that you learn to play. Now, when you play faster, now they say you're gonna play, you're doing this, and you can fill in all those notes. In a cha-cha you can. It sounds cool. Now, when we do it, when it's faster, double time, and that kind of I break it down and just have. So now I'm cutting in between. I'm making one whole rhythm. So E E O A O E E O A O. Or okay, so this is some of the combinations that I want you to look at. There's many more. There's also you could also sit on a cajon. I don't have a cajon, so which is another instrument that you sit on, and you could get a bass sound out of the side or play the front of it as you're sitting down in a conga. So it's infinite of whatever you want to put in your setup, in your gear. You could have a cymbal here, a hand cymbal here, a splash, a chimes here, some more cowbells on the left side. So when you do the cowbell with your left hand and your tumbao with the right, okay, so this is why we exercise and we learn these rhythms, left and right hand. Okay, so it takes time. Heel, toe. When we start off with the heel, toe, slap. The slap is back here. We're gonna do an open slap for here now because the toe is a different sound from the slap. Heel, toe, slap. Okay, that's got to come out. You're not gonna go heel. Okay, so make sure you want to hit a. That's gonna be an open slap because we do our slap here. One of the exercises that we do also that I taught in one of the previous workshops, some exercises with that tumbao to loosen up the wrist. Here's your regular tumbao, right? Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. Now we're gonna do this. Heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe, toe, heel, toe, slap, toe, heel, toe. Now we're heel toe. We're doing heel toe, all of it now. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Then those exercises loosen up your wrist, so that way when you perform, you're not playing like this and hitting the drum this way. What you're doing, you just picking up your wrist, so that you're saving energy, and you have to conserve your stamina and put it out little at a time whenever it's necessary. Learning how to breathe as you play, and so you shouldn't raise your hand more than 6 inches. And you strike the drum with the weight of your hand. There's no need for you to go crazy, This is because you got to start at a ground zero, a level ground. From there, you work in intensity and loudness or softness, in whatever way the song is going to start. So I would play a tune in my basic default level, and depending if I'm playing too soft, I'll bring it up a notch or two, or a couple more. Or if it's too loud there, usually in a jazz setting, I would do 2 dBs under, or depending on the acoustics or your drum, what kind of heads you have on your drum. These are synthetic heads, they're kind of loud, and natural heads seems to be a little warmer, so then I don't have to go low in volume. So all those things you got to put into it's in factor of your whole performance, and how your sound is going to be, and how you're going to attack each song, how you're going to play it, what you're going to start with. You're going to start with a shaker, you're going to start with a chime, to introduce the song, or maybe he doesn't need anything, so all those little things we're talking about playing in a setting with mostly world music, pop music, American music, any music, you have to have different styles of playing. Just because you're a conga player, that doesn't mean you're a salsero and play salsa all the time. This instrument, it plays everything. It depends on you. How far you want to bring your instrument, your talent, your knowledge. How much are you going to be valued of what you know and what you can express in different scenarios, musical situations that you don't have to be the greatest, but you got to know the concepts of each style of music. The concept of why you're playing this, why you're playing that, so it depends on what style of music you're gonna play. I don't have to bring all the stuff. All I'm have to bring is a cajon and one conga and a shaker and a cymbal with some brushes. That's all I need, maybe for depending on what gig it is. Sometimes I need two, and if it's a full thing, a full blown out orchestra, or the music calls for it, then I would. So you have to see the situation. I've seen some guys with two congas and a djembe to get that nice deep sound, and then they learn combinations with the drums and the djembe, and you experiment. You experiment into what you want to accomplish and achieve in at a gig that calls for some avant-garde playing. Not even avant-garde, it's just avant-garde to you, new to you, because you're experimenting and you're exploring it. For instance, I play four congas, but I do it in a Latin jazz setting. I wouldn't bring this to a charanga gig because it doesn't call for it, So I would bring one drum or maybe two, to play a charanga. If I play with a big band like a Tito Puente band, all he needs is two drums. If I'm going to do a Latin jazz setting, I could bring my four drums, my checkers, and so it's more liberal, it's free, and you still have the concept with the clave in everything. In Latin jazz and all the music, there's a little concept also of the clave. You know, there's a little rhythm here that I learned to play. The clave 3-2-2-3. I'm assuming everybody knows the clave. It's a 2-bar phrase. One bar has 3 beats, the other one has 2. Depending on how you're starting it, you could start it 1, or you could start 2-3 on the 2 side. So if you count it off, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's 3-2 because I started. I'm gonna start 2-3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it depends. The direction of the clave in an arrangement of a song that you're going to play is determined by the arranger who would phrase and wants to have the progression of that song in a 3-2 accenting format or 2-3. So this is detected when you're playing and the phrasing of some of the horn players or the accents of the breaks and stuff. So this is another thing that you have to analyze the clave and learn where it's at, how to work with it, how to play. For instance, I'm going to do a quick tumbao with a 3-2 clave, how I would accent on a certain beat of the clave. So if I go pa, ah, 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 so I'm hitting ah, ah, ah. So I'm going to stop. Instead of 4 and, I'm just going to do 4 on that downbeat on the 4th beat of the first bar. Ah, 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 ah. This is my way of telling everybody this is the clave. It's 3-2 because I'm landing on the dominant So if I go this, if I'm playing this, what's the clave? So once I start playing, that's the first thing I do is make sure everybody's hitting that same downbeat and we're all in clave. Then we can take off and play the song. But first, you got to lock in with the band and the percussion and the bass. That's also boom boom boom, the ding dong, beep beep boom, beep beep. So I would follow him too. So everybody has everybody's part is phrased around the clave. So when we all lock in and play it, everybody's accenting on their part of the clave on their instrument. This is how we lock in with a band. I'm going to show you a little trick. I learned, which is cool. I learned this from Hilton Ruiz. He played 3-2 on one bell and 2-3 on the other one at the same time. So we're doing this. I learned this from Milton, and it's cool. But this is just a little thing that I don't know. You could listen to and try to pick out. If I'm gonna do 3-2, I'm gonna start 2-3 on the cha-cha bell. Okay. Little trick I like when you hear the both claves at the same time facing each other. Anyway, that's part of your whole setup of knowing when to change to the bell, when to change to the side of the drum, when to switch from the bongo to the bell. I'm not going to play the bell in the beginning of the song because it's like an introduction. So the bongo player will be playing un martillo, which is the tumbao for the bongo. They're martillos. One and two and three and four and one and two. It's sort of similar, but it's got a different color. And maybe I'll bring it that next time around so I could give you a little taste of all the little toys that you should be playing with if you're a serious percussionist and learn how to adapt that in your scenario, wherever you want to play, and invent your own rhythms, invent your own setup, something that you feel comfortable with. If you're if you get used to it and you're very good at playing two different things at the same time, then expand it even more, playing other things, other instruments. So going back to the bell, in the beginning of a song, like say in a Latin song, or they want to play a Latin feel, I'm imagining the bongo player playing, and then until I hear the break or the montuno come in. You see, so there's a certain way, and when he hits the bell, that's when I go into my second drum. So those are other things too. This is where it fills up. So you want to hear the transition of that movement of that interlude in that song. You want to hear a whole movement shift, a whole different color when that part comes out. So this is now I'm playing in the intro. I play one congas, and I'm imagining the bongo player. The only way I would play here is when the cowbell comes in and I introduce this one. And then when we have a soloist, trumpet solo, or a sax solo, and the timbalero is on the cymbal, then I would open up. Back to the montuno. Get back to the head and out. and just those little things I wanted to explain to you, to everyone, to make it a little bit more interesting. So, you know, now you could go buy some more toys, and your wife could get mad at you when you bring. I got more drums. I got timbales now, but it's fun, and you're not doing it on your home. You're in a pandemic here, so this is another way for you to study and practice, and just open up your mind a little bit, and don't be afraid to move out. Everybody makes mistakes, so what you got to do is just take your time, analyze it, start it from here. There's two drums. Okay, so I think that'll be it for now. And I want to thank the New Rican Poets Cafe for having us again. The Latin Jazz series for keeping us alive here and showing you and the world what we do here. And thank you again. And we'll see you next week. We have Victor Rendon. He's going to give us a great class too, a great master class. So guys, thank you again. Chembo Corniel over here by my records because I need to. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you. See you next time.